Greetings, Minecrafters, and welcome to another, hopefully very interesting discussion. I just walked around the corner here. I should say my name is Kimberly Quinn, and I just walked around the corner here. I'm like, oh, a moose just went through. But Shanny let the goats out. There's King Lear and Caesar, and over here eating our lilac bush is Hamlet. So I was not ready for that, so a little startle. Okay, so anyway, so it is my pleasure, it's my absolute pleasure from my yard to talk about another ACOA. It's like the ACOA revival, Adult Children of Alcoholics. I believe this is episode 5. I can take very little, if any, credit at all because I'm inspired for this one from a text message I received from my very dear friend Dr. Dave while he was on his bike inside his house. So anyway, he is also an ACOA like myself, and right away he's jumped into this don't talk, don't trust, don't feel thing. I'm like, oh my God, let's just do that right now. And so those of us who grew up in an addicted home, oh, and he also reminded me of Dr. Dave Landers, also reminded me of it's not necessarily addiction. I mean, addiction we kind of know is loads and loads of shame, and it's just got all kinds of all that going on. But you can be from a dysfunctional family that didn't necessarily misuse and abuse substances. That said, when you grow up in this environment with all this shame and often deprivation going on, the don't talk thing is huge. Don't talk about it because for one of two reasons. One, you could pull the blanket off that big old pink elephant that's sitting on the couch that everyone's pretending to ignore. And the other, I'm in my front side yard, so you might hear some slushies going on. And then, okay, so there's that reason, ripping the blanket off of all things embarrassing and shaming to the family. And then there's also the chance that, they won't believe you anyway, which, way back then, people didn't talk that much. I'm fabulous 57 now. And back in the day, as they say, 70s, high school in the 80s, then college also in the 80s, early 80s. Yeah, people didn't talk about much. I'm not sure they would have believed me because like I told you, we're from if there is such a thing as a regular family, I'm just kind of doing air quotes with that because stereotypically, or I don't know how I want to say it, but people from the outside looking in would think we had it all going on. There they go to a Yankee game, so-and-so's out doing a little window box. Yeah, but inside it was living hell. And so there's that. And so there's also the thing that nobody's going to believe you or help you. So that one story came into my mind when I had a rehearsal this morning. I was actually in the woods this morning, then my phone died. So we call those rehearsals. Oh, look at Hamlet. He's so handsome. Handsome boy. I'm thinking of a time I was about 16. It seemed to be at its absolute worst then. And here's the thing is, like, you would think, especially growing up in a New York neighborhood, people would notice. But I mean, or if they did, they just didn't say anything because it was absolute lunacy in my house a lot of the time. And there was one particular day, I think we were about 16. My mother had one of her most extreme abusive episodes ever. And I had a friend over that day who witnessed the whole thing. And right away, she's shaking. She said, I'm not leaving without you. Let's go. And off we went. And a very well-meaning adult, really good, rock-solid, nice person, I watched her face, like trying to dial the phone. And what do I do? And I got to be the grown-up here. And I'm begging her not to. Because I knew it was going to be so much worse for me if she made that call, like in the big picture. And so the reason I'm sharing that, again, is not to blame or anything like that. It's to explain. Remember, we don't complain, we don't explain. That's Wayne Dyer said that. Not complaining, not explaining. I'm sharing it because I'm guessing that there's probably a lot of people out there who had this situation where if anybody even tried to help you, that it would have been way worse. And so that's kind of I guess I'm just kind of normalizing, because here's the thing, my whole mission is to channel value to people, because I know the excruciating feeling, that empty feeling, that excruciating feeling, that pit in the stomach of what's wrong with me now feeling, to channel value and kind of normalize a lot of this stuff in a way, or maybe that's not the right word, I don't know, but that you're not the only one, I guess what I'm saying. So if I reach just one person out there, this is all worth my life minutes right there. I'll just tell you that. Okay, so don't talk, don't trust. We learn not to trust people. Why? Because there was a lot of inconsistency and unpredictability. And so there's not trusting people on the outside. And unfortunately, when we are, especially if there's any gaslighting, we'll get into that later, just to basically, in a simple way. Gaslighting is when the other people, the sick people in the house, work hard at, often subtly, getting you to think that you're the one with the problem, kind of thing. And so it becomes easy to then start brewing some big old, very toxic self-doubt, which can follow us right into adulthood and, you know, questioning the ground we're walking on, kind of thing, because that's so harmful. So not only do we not trust other people, we learn not to trust ourselves, because like, am I nuts? Is this just me? Is this normal? And it's not me, you know. And then that creeps its way into our relationships later on, like battery acid. You know, constantly questioning, did they overhear me? I didn't even say anything. But did you think it came out okay? Do you think I hurt someone's feelings? It goes on and on and on, and leads straight to this, you know, codependent behavior. So we have, don't talk, don't trust, and don't feel. Okay, and I'm keeping these short. Don't feel. Man, is that the truth? Because especially when it comes, look at those handsome boys, huh? Especially when it comes to anger specifically, it's don't feel. But especially Hamlet, hey Ham, because anger is usually not, it's so shunned, like just don't express that. And anger gets a bad rap because anger does have a job, a positive, healthy role, which is basically don't tread on me and back the heck up because you violated me. And somehow, it doesn't have to be over here violation, it can be anywhere. Like you violated my own personal boundaries emotionally, and maybe physically, okay, or anywhere along here. It can be you are talking trash about somebody I really care about, saying hateful things about somebody I really care about, and that's all violating a belief system, violating anything. And so we get angry when we say, hey, whoa, back up, that is not okay. So anger actually is a good reason, you know, has a positive role. The only time it becomes bad is when it's not processed, you know, not listened to, heard, and validated, and then we can release, like catch and release fishing, you know, grab a prickly little catfish, hold it until we get sick of it ourselves, our own anger, then we throw it back in. So we have to hold it, feel the pricklies, feel the slime, and then be done with it and let it go. Well, when anger is not processed, when we're not heard, and we don't process it, we're not validated, that's when it's not good. And then we hang on to it, and then it can become also toxic. But the thing is, when addicted parents or dysfunctional parents, toxic parents, prevent us from expressing anger healthfully, we learn that it's bad and don't do it, and that's going to keep me from love, because I'm trying to get love here. I'm trying to navigate this house and figure out, how do I get the good stuff? How do I get the snugglies and the love? And we learn that's definitely the quick road to alone, so we don't express anger. And then it builds and builds and builds. We all know where that goes, right? And then the don't express how we feel. You know, there's all the other emotions too. You know, suck it up, buttercup. Don't be sad. Then we bottle that up and get depressed, and it just goes on and on and on. When in reality, to feel is to heal. To feel is to heal, right, Ham? Such a handsome boy. He's like the oldest one. He's like the big bro. So to feel is to heal, and to share is to care, which is the other thing. Sharing these stories and allowing myself to be vulnerable like this, you know, I encourage you with safe people to share stories, because, I mean, along my whole healing path, I mean, thank goodness people trusted themselves enough to trust me with their info and really help you feel less alone when they've had some of the, you know, some similar experiences, or grew up with, you know, an addicted household or whatever. To share is to care, totally. To feel, to heal, to share is to care. I don't usually speak in bumper sticker, but, you know, it's working today, so that's it. So the ACOAs are learn to, learn this. They learn don't talk, don't trust, don't feel. Thank you, Dr. Dave Landers. This is Kimberly Quinn signing off with our goats in the beautiful northern Vermont in my backyard. Have a mindful day.